Welcome to another one of my videos. Today I will be talking about the Princess of Wands. She is the last one of our fiery characters from the Court of Wands, and she as a princess is the Earth of Fire. As I explained before, in this deck every court card is assigned to one of the elements first, according to what card it is, and then secondly they are assigned to the element of the suit that they are in. So as a princess, she is earth, and she is in the suit of fire, therefore she is earth of fire. Let's have a look now at how she is presented here in this card. So we can see that she's shown here naked like a prince, because all of the other princesses have clothes. She is the only one that's shown naked, and we immediately see that she is very courageous. She has to be unashamed, uninhibited, if she's shown this way. And we can see that she's kind of like leaping into this flame. She's being carried away by this fiery energy. There's also a tiger here that she's holding by the tail. And we will have a look at all of those elements in a moment in detail. But first, let's start with the quote that tells us a bit about her. The Princess of Wands represents the earthy part of fire. One might say she is the fuel of fire. This expression implies the irresistible chemical attraction to the combustible substance. When Crowley says here that she is the fuel of fire, it means that she gives herself to the flames, she gets consumed by the fire, and being the earthy part of fire, she gives up the earthy element to be consumed by the flames. So there is no grounding in her. She sacrifices all of the grounding that she might otherwise have in order to be carried away by this flame here. When he says there's an irresistible chemical attraction here, this has double meaning really, because this is both the fact that she is attracted to this fiery energy, but also she is attractive to other people. She's attractive in this like very chemical and primal way. Now let's hear another quote that will tell us a bit more about her and what she looks like. The princess is therefore shown with the plumes of justice streaming like flames from her brow, and she is unclothed, showing that chemical action can only take place when the element is perfectly free to combine with its partner. She bears a wand crowned with the disk of the sun, and she is leaping in a surging flame which recalls by its shape the letter Yod. Let's have a look first at the plumes of justice. These are the ostrich feathers that Crowley calls the plumes of justice, and he says that they are streaming like flames from her brow. We have a similar headdress in the adjustment card. If you have a look here, we have those ostrich feathers as well, but here they are bound together. Our princess has them separated. These ostrich feathers are connected with the ancient Egyptian goddess Maat, and she's the goddess of truth, balance, order. She's a goddess of law, morality, and justice. And we will see how this is very relevant for our princess when we come to describing her character. But let's just have a look at the feathers first, because as you can see here in this picture, Goddess Maat has only one feather, and it's called the feather of truth. But when you think about it this way, she's a goddess, so in the world of gods, there is only one truth. But we are here in our material world, so you can say that we have two truths. We have the truth, the absolute truth. You can say that is the same as the truth in the world of gods. And we also have our human truth, what we think is right and true. And that's why in the adjustment card, these two truths are combined. So you have to find balance, and they need to become one. But our princess has her own vision of the truth, and that's why her truth separates from the absolute truth. Let's have a look at the wand that she's holding in her left hand now. So we are told that this is a wand crowned with the disk of the sun. If we count the rays of the sun, we get 30 of them. 30 is connected with the 30th path on the tree of life, and this path is here between Hod and Yesod. And 30th path is associated with the major arcana card, the Sun. And this card means openness, this is glory, riches, pleasure. This card is like true, full happiness. But also, this card can sometimes mean shamelessness and arrogance. And we will see how this connects with the character of our princess in just a moment when we start discussing more quotes. Now let's have a closer look at her wand, and we will notice here that the wand is emanating some rays here. They are kind of half visible, but if you look closely you can see them here, and more importantly, you can also count them. So if we count those rays, we have 13 of them, and 13 is connected to the very interesting Aztec deity called Tlazolteotl. It's definitely very difficult to pronounce. This is a deity of vice, purification, steam baths, lust, filth, and she's also a patroness of adulterers. So she is connected with number 13 because she rules over 13th Trecena. Trecena is a 13-day week in Aztec calendar. So she rules the 13th 13-day week. And she is a deity of dirt as well, because dirt symbolized sin in the Aztec tradition. So she is both a deity of dirt and sin, but also purification. And it is said that she was eating sins to purify them. And we can see here this symbolic connection of something being consumed in order to be purified, the same as we think about fire consuming things and therefore purifying them or cleansing by fire. 13 is not only connected with our Tlazolteotl, it's also connected with the Death card of the Major Arcana. This is card number 13. And this is also another echo of the transformation that we have seen in the Aztec deity. So the Death card means a transformation and facing our fears, so we can cut away what we no longer need in our life, so that we can make space for new things, for new fresh energy. But this transformation is usually a very painful process for us. The next element of the quote is mentioning the yod-shaped flame. So this is the flame here, and if you remember, we had yod-shaped flames in the Ace of Wands as well. Yod is also the first letter of the Tetragrammaton, and it symbolizes the primal and active masculine energy. And because of that, it is also connected with the first world of Kabbalah, Atzilut, and this is the world where we are right now, so in the suit of wands. If you want to find out more about the four worlds of Kabbalah, please watch my video about that, because I won't go into any more detail here in this video. I don't want to make it too long, but everything is explained there about the four worlds and about the Tetragrammaton. So have a look at that video for more information. We can see by the way she's jumping into this yod-shaped flame here that she's really being carried away by her passion and by the pure energy of fire that she is so fascinated with. And if you have a look here, there is a hint of green in this flame, and of course you remember the green lightning bolts in the background of the Ace of Wands. This is the creative potential of fire. So she also has a bit of this creative energy in her, connected with planet Venus and Sephira Netzach. Now let's listen to another quote from the Book of Thoth that will explain us something more about the symbolism of the card. This card may be said to represent the dance of the virgin priestess of the Lords of Fire, for she is in attendance upon the golden altar ornamented with ram's heads, symbolizing the fires of spring. She is called the Virgin Priestess here in this quote, and this is connected to Vestal virgins, so the priestesses of goddess Vesta. And they tended to a holy flame in ancient Rome, and this ensured that Rome kept its contact with the gods, and therefore basically Rome was safe as long as this fire was burning because the gods would protect it. So if a girl wanted to become a priestess of Vesta, she was legally emancipated from her father's authority, but she had to swear a vow of chastity for 30 years. So we have another connection with number 30 here in some way. And keeping of the vows was so important that the punishment for breaking them was being buried alive, which was a horribly cruel punishment. And we can see how this is connected to the idea that's promoted in some of the religions, even nowadays, that you can only tend to one fire in your life. So it's either the spiritual fire that you will be feeding, or it will be the fire of your body, so your passions in life and the pleasures of the flesh. And very few religions or philosophies actually combine both and allow you to experience both. Let's have a look at the gold altar now that was mentioned in the quote. So we have 24 ram heads here, and 24 is connected with the 24 spokes of the Dharma chakra. It's representing Buddha's teaching and the universal moral order. So it joins with the ostrich feathers that she has here as her headdress. But 24 can also be seen here as 12 and 12 because 12 heads are upright and the other 12 on the bottom are upside down. And this can symbolize the spring equinox because it's 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night, so day and night are equal at that time. And this is what Crowley means when he says the fires of spring. So this is Ostara, this is the holiday that's celebrated at the spring equinox, and it begins on the cusp of the sign of Aries. So the ram heads also symbolize the sign of Aries, and you can see the sign of Aries beautifully represented in the Emperor cards. We can see these wild rams here in the background. If we look closely here, we can see that there are 6 pink roses burning at this altar. And pink roses symbolize desire, passion, they are joy of life, youth and energy. 6 is connected with Sephira Tiferet and the energy of the sun. And we have another connection with the sign of Aries here because Sun is exalted in the sign of Aries. So there is quite a lot of Aries influence in this card. Even you will see this with the character of our princess. Let's have a look now at her companion here. Let's have a look at the tiger and what it symbolizes. In Chinese zodiac, tiger is associated with spring and it's representing matter, as opposed to the dragon representing spirit. A tiger is connected to military power, and it's a symbol of courage and absolute power. And we can see that she is holding the tiger by the tail, and this is an expression similar to playing with fire, and I think both apply here to this card very well. We also have to notice that she is holding the tiger, but the tiger is also holding her, so they are trying to control each other in some way. And there's a very good quote from a Burmese king who said this about starting a war with the English. And he said, when you are holding the tiger by the tail, it's neither safe to hold nor let go. So I think this is the situation that we are in here. She's playing with this dangerous energy, but she cannot stop because it's as dangerous to stop and withdraw from this situation as it is to continue in it. And if we have a closer look at the tiger and the position of the body, it appears to be sleeping. And there is also another saying that applies here very well, and this is never wake a sleeping tiger. So maybe you shouldn't poke at certain situations because you can make matters worse. And I am afraid that our princess has a tendency to just poke at things and check what's going to happen. Now let's hear a quote from the Book of Thoth that will tell us a bit more about her character. The character of the princess is extremely individual. She is brilliant and daring. She creates her own beauty by her essential vigor and energy. The force of her character imposes the impression of beauty upon the beholder. In anger or love, she is sudden, violent, and implacable. She consumes all that comes into her sphere. She is ambitious and aspiring, full of enthusiasm which is often irrational. She never forgets an injury, and the only quality of patience to be found in her is the patience with which she lies in ambush to avenge. We see here in this quote how her character embodies the pure energy of fire. So she is brilliant, daring, and she has vigor, energy. She's violent, she is sudden, and she consumes all that comes into her sphere. So she really is just fire, but as a person. Now let's hear another quote that will tell us a bit more about the shadow side of her character. Such a woman, ill-dignified, shows the defects of these qualities. She is superficial and theatrical, completely shallow and false, yet without suspecting that she is anything of the sort, for she believes entirely in herself, even when it's apparent to the most ordinary observer that she is merely in the spasm of mood. She is cruel, unreliable, faithless, and domineering. And we see here, like with the Knight of Wands, she is lacking this reflective quality, so she can never fully see herself for who she really is. And she just has this tendency, like our knight, of running into situations head first and not thinking about like anything really, especially not thinking about other people in her life. And these are also the qualities of the sign of Aries, but we have to remember that we are talking here about a card that is ill-dignified. So we are talking about the extremes of the negative manifestations of the Aries energy. Princesses in this deck are not ruling over any cards, so they are not assigned to any decans. They are above this division, like the aces, and they are said to be the thrones of the aces. So this means that they are like a material manifestation of the pure energy of a given element. So she is the material manifestation of the energy of fire, and therefore through her the pure potential of the energy of fire that was in the Ace of Wands, it can flow into the material world. Because she's not connected to any of the decans, she's not really assigned to any specific time frame like the other cards, but from the symbolism of the card, we know that she's associated with spring and specifically the spring equinox. So if we were to use her as a reply to a timing question in our reading, we would know that something is going to happen in spring or around the spring equinox. Now I will tell you a bit about how to interpret this card in divination. So if this card represents an action in your spread, this means that the action is courageous, it is fearless, you're following your passion, the action is enthusiastic, but also it can be sometimes reckless or cruel. If this card represents a person, this is someone energetic, someone who's full of vitality, full of enthusiasm. This person is very confident, daring, really unafraid of expressing herself without really looking at anyone else. So she will not be concerned about what other people think, she just does whatever she likes to do. This is also someone who's going to be impulsive, she can be reckless and cruel. She definitely has a tendency to be temperamental, and she can be really vengeful as well. When we think about the movie characters that could fulfill her archetype, I always think of Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones. She is definitely this type of fiery woman, and she knows exactly what she wants. She wants to take revenge on everyone, and she doesn't really listen to anyone's advice. She just has like her own truth that she will follow, and there is nothing really anyone can do to change her mind. So I think she is maybe a more negative version of this archetype. Another one from Game of Thrones is Daenerys Targaryen. She handles the fiery character a bit better, but still she has those explosions of anger, and she definitely is vengeful as well. So she is able to listen to other people. She has a bit more reflection in her, but still she is really following her passion, and she is being really ruled by her passion and what she wants to accomplish with her life. Another character that I always think about when I see our princess is Gogo Yubari from Kill Bill. And if you have seen the movie, you definitely remember her. If you haven't, look up some clips of her online and you will see the amazing weapon that she wields in this movie. She is definitely the embodiment of this fiery character that is just volatile and purely reckless. And I'm just going to read you a quote from the movie that describes her. The young girl in the schoolgirl uniform is Oren's personal bodyguard, 17-year-old Gogo Yubari. Gogo may be young, but what she lacks in age, she makes up for in madness. If we think about what kind of a job our princess could be doing, this can be someone creative, especially someone who performs on stage in some form. So, this could be an actress, a singer, especially an opera singer, because she is a bit of a diva. This could be a dancer, someone who likes the attention of the crowd. She's also a bit of a drama queen, and she's someone who's ready to explode for no reason at any moment. So, if you think about the artists that are sometimes really demanding, this is the archetype of our princess. This can also be someone who's just striving to be famous. So, this can be someone who's trying to be an influencer, or maybe someone who's just really active on social media. And it is a form of being famous, just like being famous in your own circle of friends or in your neighborhood. But this person definitely loves attention, so she will do anything at all to get it. If this card describes a partner or a potential partner in a reading, then this is someone very attractive, like magnetically attractive. This is someone who's confident, daring, very exciting to be around. So you might be really like fascinated with this person, but you have to remember that she will always be temperamental and she will have a tendency to be domineering. She also likes her freedom, so she might have a problem with committing to a relationship, or she can be just someone who really likes to flirt because she has the need for this constant attention. She likes to be the center of attention everywhere she goes. If this card shows in a place of advice in your reading, then you should just go after what you want without any fear. You should find the courage to express yourself. And really, this is the time to conquer your fears and focus on what you want to get. And this time, just ignore what everyone else is thinking or telling you. Because usually this is bad advice, but there are some moments in our lives where we have to really selfishly focus on ourselves and what we want to get in life. And if there is something that is truly important to you, then you know it deep inside that this is the right thing to do, even though everyone else around you might be saying it's wrong and might be trying to stop you. But sometimes it is good advice to just follow what you want and don't look at anyone else. If this card shows in the place of an obstacle in your reading, then it invites you to have a look at how you are treating other people. Maybe you should take a step back and rethink what you're doing. Just think through what you are trying to do here and why you are acting this way, because maybe your actions are a bit reckless at the moment. You should also try to let go of the need for revenge and really think about how you deal with difficult truths about yourself. Think about how you react to criticism. Have you got maybe a tendency to explode for no reason? And try to see the situation from the perspective of other people around you. And of course, sometimes when you are very ambitious in life, you have a tendency to just not look at anyone else and just achieve what you want. But sometimes it will be easier for you to achieve your goals if you are actually working together with everyone around you rather than always working alone and against everyone else. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoy my video, please remember to like them on YouTube and of course subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Next time we are finally starting the Court of Cups and we will start with our video about the Ace of Cups. So very exciting video next time and I'll see you then. Thank you so much. Bye!